What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Sforgo. And this is probably going to be a long video, but I'm going to go through the entire memory guide system for any of you new players that are out there. All of you veterans already know the deal. You already know what memories to put on the characters. You already know how to level them up. But I just want to run through the entire process so that way you guys will have a reference video for any of these PGR videos that I do, or maybe a Warzone video that I do regarding memories. So let's jump in here, guys. So the first thing about the memories, guys, is these are your memories, and there's a 6-slot system for every single character that you can equip memories to. You can equip 6 memories to each character in the game. Now, we have 2 different types of characters in this game. We have uniframe and we have omniframe characters. The uniframe characters have specific sets that are designed for them. So, for example, for Palao here, this is actually her memory set, and you know that because, well, it says her name on it, Win Palao, right? So you see that right there. So you know this is a set that is specifically designed for her, right? With Roland, he's a fire damage dealing character. So when you take a look at his set, you can see that his fire damage is actually increased. It's the only set that's going to benefit him of any of these uniframe characters. With Chu here, right, she's a physical damage dealing character, and so is Palao, but because Palao actually says her name in the memory, you know that this one here that increases physical damage is going to be perfect for Chu. Now, I'm not going in every single detail, guys, because this video would be insanely long, but I just want to explain why certain memories are going to be put on certain characters. With Kamu here, you actually get this set completely for free whenever you level the character up to level 52 at the very beginning of the game. But you can see right here, guys, it says Kamu, right? That right there tells you that this is a set for this guy. And then you have Selena here, who is a lightning-based character. And you can see here, guys, that lightning damage increases by 10%. So these are all the indications to know which memory works on which character. And these are pretty straightforward and pretty simple. But whenever you get to the omniframe characters, this is where things can get a little convoluted and a little complicated. So there are specific characters in the game that have a 4-piece set that designed specifically for that character. Characters like Nanami with this 4-piece set, Liv with this 4-piece set, Vera with her 4-piece set. And then when you scroll down here, guys, you actually get to Rosetta, who uses her 4-piece set. Then you also have Selena, who also uses a certain 4-piece set, and Luna, who uses a 4-piece set. At the time of recording this video, these are all the characters that have a specific 4-piece set that's going to be equipped to these characters. Now, something to note about the memory system, guys, is whenever you're equipping memories on a character, so something that confuses players about the memory system is what memories should go on top and what memories should go on bottom. Well, the answer is the memories with the higher attack stats should go on bottom. You'll get more BP or battle power of your character if you do it that way. And the memories with the lower attack should be on top. So if we take a look at this memory right here, you can see, guys, that it has 133 attack. And when I click on another Einstein memory here that's on another character that's on the bottom, you'll see that it actually has 132. So the memory with the higher attack, you want to make sure that you're on bottom. That's one tip that I can give you about this. The next thing, guys, is resonations. Now, when it comes to resonating memories, every single character will use different resonations, okay? So when I click on this and I hit train and I go to resonance, right, and I click on swap resonance, you can see that there's a ton of different things that you can add to your character. You can give them more attack. You can give them like increase to their signature damage. Whenever this +1 means more damage on their signature move. This core passive means more damage on their core passive, right? But every character is different. So for any time that I'm making a video about Phantom Pancake runs or Warzone runs, you'll know what I'm talking about because these things add more damage to a specific stat that you're giving to them. And if you're going to give attack, then they're going to get more attack. If you're giving a QTE, this is which quick time event where you're dropping in characters, they're going to do more damage whenever they do the QTE. If you do signature, then they're going to do more damage whenever you do their signature, and so on and so on and so on. And every character is different, right? So whenever I make those videos about Phantom Pancake runs or Warzone, I mean, at least now you'll have a reference as far as, you know, why we would have certain resonances on those characters. The next thing, guys, is hypertuning. Hypertune is one of those things that you will do for your main damage dealers first, and then other characters afterwards, or your favorite characters. And the way this works, guys, is the bottom memories here actually give attack. So whenever you hypertune, you see these highlighted little blue slots. Hypertuning will actually give more attack to your characters. And with every single character in the game that you are going to hypertune, you want to do the bottom 3 slots first, especially for elemental characters, because if you just hypertune on the top, all it's going to do is give HP and crit, whereas the bottom actually gives attack. And that is very, very beneficial. You can see the bottom gives attack, but the top actually, whenever you hypertune, will actually give HP, and crit. This is only good for physical characters, right? If they're an elemental character like lightning, fire, ice, this is not very useful for them at all. So generally what people like to do is they just like to hypertune the bottom memories for their characters. Physical characters, if you hypertune all of them, it's going to be more of a difference. Characters like Alpha, characters like 2B, A2, all those characters, Rosetta, all those characters are going to benefit much more from having 6 hypertuned memories versus just the bottom 3 slots. But usually because of resources and materials, people usually just like to hypertune the bottom slots. So as far as what memories we should use for what characters, let's talk about it. So if we go into the shop here, I'm just going to kind of run through all these memories and just kind of give you guys like a brief overview of these things. So the first one, guys, is the Condolina. This is a set that actually increases your base attacks. Guys, I can tell you right now that this set is a fodder set. You're not really even going to use this. Most players will never even touch this set. The Shakespeare set is actually good for characters with fire damage. Characters like Fire God Lee, S. Karenina, very good for them. I mean, Liv Imperia, S. Liv, does have fire damage, and so does Nanami, but those two characters have specific 4-piece sets that are designed specifically for them. So you don't really want to use this set because you're not going to benefit as much as what you would for the specific sets that are designed for those characters. But for Fire God Lee and S. Karenina, this is a really good set, the 4-piece set for them. The Heisen set is to buff up lightning damage. So this is a really good set for S. Bianca. It's a good set for Lucia Dawn. It's also a good set for A. Chrome. You can use it for your Lightning Liv also, but you're going to find that, you're going to use a different set for her, as we'll explain in a little bit. Then you have the Darwins. Darwins are really good 2-piece sets that you can use. You're never going to use a 4-piece set on your characters. Another tip I can give you about Darwins, guys, is that because they have the lowest attack stats in the game, they're always going to be in the top slots of your memories. Always on top, guys, when it comes to Darwin. Always. But whenever you do a 2-piece set, guys, for each warp ping, the extra damage bonus increases by 3% for 4 seconds, can be activated 5 times. So whenever you put a 4-piece set on a character, if you equip like 2 Darwins, you're going to get extra damage for every orb ping. And depending on the character, sometimes the Darwin's going to be the best. Sometimes there's going to be other sets that's going to be the best. It really depends on the characters. But anytime you watch a video where I'm showing a memory on a character, it's because that memory works really good with that specific character, right? You're always just going to use a 2-piece Darwin on your characters. Handers are really good sets for characters that use a lot of 3 pings, because every time you do a 3 ping, it's going to increase your damage. It's also going to allow you to go into the matrix automatically, which is really, really nice. And that's nice because whenever you go into the matrix and you hit a 1 ping, right, 1 orb, it will count as a 3 ping, which means more damage, and also can help you enter into what's called core passives, which allows you to do more damage in the game. This is very, very potent. Plus you get the extra damage by 25%. So some players will equip these on certain characters like S. Lucia, even Fire God Lee. It works out really well. The Kamoys, Kamoy Bastion, Kamoy Tenebrian, like those characters work really, really well with the Hannahs. Hannahs are a real versatile set that you can equip on a lot of characters. They actually can make your life pretty easy, especially if you're just going to bring them in, drop them in, do a bunch of damage, and then switch them out, because you can enter the matrix immediately with this set. So it's a nice little set to have on your characters. The Kadi is for characters that do lots of signature damage. Characters like Liv Imperia, 2B, Selena, like those characters do a lot of damage on their signatures. So this set, what it does is it gives you a lot more energy whenever you're using your skill, right? You don't need to use as much, energy. So for example, if a character says it needs 100% energy on their signature, well, whenever you have a 2-piece on this girl, you actually gain 20% more energy when pinging an orb, and your signature move requires 20% less energy, which means instead of 100 energy, you only need 80 energy. It allows you to go on your signature a whole lot faster. So it's a really useful set on certain characters. A lot of players like to use this for what's called like Babel, because they can go into your signatures much more often, much quicker, because a lot of signatures have iframes or invincibility frames where they don't take any damage at all. So it's a really useful set. Now, the Da Vinci set is a set that you're always going to put on support characters. You can use this set on tanks or support characters. Characters like the Livs, except for Liv Imperia, but the other Livs, you can use this Da Vinci set on. You can use this Da Vinci set on Kamoy Bastion, Ayla, all kinds of other characters, because whenever you have a 4-piece equip, guys, when a QTE is triggered, right, whenever you bring in your characters to help do damage, then you're going to increase your attack by 20% when all three of them are on the field for 8 seconds. This is a godly buff, and it's why whenever you see all these Phantom Pain Cage runs and you see these Warzone runs, there's a lot of times where people will use this set on one of the characters, not your damage dealer, but on one of your characters, like your support or your tank, in order to do a whole lot more damage, guys. It's really insane. Even a 2-piece set, right? But normally you're always going to put a 4-piece set on your support or tanks, but a 2-piece set, when Q2 is triggered, gains 10% attack and 20% defenses for 8 seconds. But really, it's always going to be a 4-piece set. So what a lot of players like to do is they'll put a 4-piece set on a support character and then add some kind of debuff, or they'll put it on a tank character and again add some kind of debuff, as we'll get into in a second, right? So the Catherine, guys, is a debuffing set for physical characters. So this is the set that you want to put on your physical tanks. Characters like Rosetta, Nanami, like those characters are going to benefit the most from having these because they actually decrease physical defenses by 20%. You're always going to use a 2-piece. There are situations where you would use a 4-piece on a character, but not so often. The Einstein is the opposite of the Catherine. It's actually going to be for elemental characters. So if you equip this on a if you equip this on an elemental tank, you're going to decrease the elemental damage of that specific type of element that tank has. So for example, if I'm using a dark tank like Kamoy Tenebrian, it's going to decrease the dark resistance down to allow your dark damage dealer to do more damage, right? If I equip the Catherine on a physical tank like Rosetta or Nanami, then it's going to allow my physical damage dealer to do more damage, right? The Phillips set is the set that you'd want to put on your healing character that has physical damage. And generally, you're just going to use a 2-piece. I mean, when it comes to these debuffing sets, guys, like when it comes to the Philip, the Einstein, the Catherine, the Guinevere's, like these sets, these 4 pieces, these 4 sets here, or these 4 memories, you're almost always going to put them with a 4-piece Da Vinci, and then you're just going to equip the 2-piece on that specific character. So like you would have a 4-piece Da Vinci with Catherine on a physical tank. You would have a 4-piece Da Vinci with a 2-piece Einstein on an elemental tank. You would have a 4-piece Da Vinci with a 2-piece Philip on a healer, because only a healer is going to give this benefit that the Philip has. And the Guinevere is the opposite. You're going to put a 4-piece Da Vinci with a 2-piece Guinevere on an elemental character because you're going to decrease that elemental resistance down whenever you get a heal. And whenever you get a heal with the Phillips, it decreases the physical resistance down. So that's kind of the gist of those debuffing sets. The Frederick set is a set that would use on characters that can really take advantage of dodges to increase your damage. Like getting an extra 15% damage and 20% attack speed is really good. And it's designed for certain characters. Like you can use this on the Ice Lucia. You can use this on Alpha to do more damage. The patent set is a set that's designed for only physical characters. So if you're using a damage dealer that deals nothing but physical damage, a 4-piece of this is actually really good on them. But it's only good for physical characters. The Bathlon is only good for dark characters. And this is going to be a damage dealing set for your dark characters. There are situations where you would use this set as like a kind of like a support, like on Kamoy Tenebrian in certain runs and Phantom Pain Cage, but it's really great for your dark characters, and a 4-piece set's going to be the way to go for damage. And then the Zhenjuan set is actually for ice characters, for your ice tanks. This set that's really good for Chrome. It actually works on Ayla, and it actually can work on other characters as well to apply ice damage. So whenever you're playing with your ice characters, this is a really good set to have because it's going to allow you to do a whole bunch of damage with your ice characters. And it's generally a set that you're going to put on a tank. And then you get into the memories that are specifically designed for characters. So like the Tifa, which is specifically designed for S. Vera. This is a 4-piece set that you want to put on her. The Leeuwenhoek is a set that's specifically designed for Rosetta. You would have a 4-piece on her. This is the Flamel set is specifically designed for Luna. You would have a 4-piece on her for her. Then you would have the sets that are designed specifically for the other characters, which I already talked about. The Elizabeth is specifically designed for Liv Imperia. And then the Seraphine set is specifically designed for Dark Selena, Amp Selena. And then you have the new set here that's specifically designed for Nanamek, or the new S Nanami. And that pretty much covers all of them. All these sets that have these little octagon shapes are for your omni-frame characters, and I've already talked about which sets belong on which characters. And then when you get into the 5-star memories, it becomes a different world. So in the 5-star memories, I'm just going to talk about the memories that we still use and why we still use them. So you have the Voltaire set, which is actually a really good set for reducing the target's defenses by 10%. It's a really good set to use on a tank character, especially a physical tank. And then the Gloria is a set that you would want to use on a tank character that you're trying to get some extra elemental resistance down. And this is the cool thing about the Glorias, is that if you equip this, say, on a physical tank, but you're trying to do elemental damage, it'll still decrease the elemental resistance by 6%. So it's a nice little set to use on a tank. These two sets, these two memories you would put on a tank. If you're trying to decrease the elemental resistance, you'd put this on a tank. If you're trying to decrease physical resistance, you'd put this one on a tank. If you're trying to decrease physical resistance, then you would put the Richelieu on a healing character. Only a healing character, only a support character would you actually decrease the physical defenses. And then the Samantha is the opposite, where it actually decreases elemental resistances on a healing character. So like the Samantha and the Richelieu would actually be on your support characters, and then the Glory and the Voltaire would actually be on your tanks. There are other memories in here that do get used somewhat, but not a whole lot, guys. That really covers the most important memories in the game and where you might want to put those memories. But I just wanted to provide some insight about the entire memory system for you guys, especially you newer players, especially for all the videos that you're going to see for Phantom Pain Cage or Warzone, so you actually understand why players are putting certain memories on certain characters. So I really do hope that this helps you guys out there as far as trying to understand the memory system. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GG+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody. Take care.